Welcome to Rising Core, powered by Burman's Health Shop. Rising Core. Hi, everybody. This is Marty Burman, and welcome to Rising Core, which is our syndicated podcast here at Burman's Health Shop. We do this podcast every 2 weeks right here at the store, and we are extremely happy today to have a great guest who will be talking about Mind, Body, and Spirit. Bella McGill from Media, Pennsylvania. She is a spiritual consultant and has been practicing holistic healing for over 20 years. We're excited to have Bella on the show. Today we're going to be discussing, like I said, mind, body, and spirit. Ted, this is a topic that, other than supplements and other things that we sell here, is something that people need to know about, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, as we were talking earlier, feeling good and health is more than just feeling physically well. You want to feel spiritually, mentally, and emotionally stable and well, and that all kind of plays a part in feeling good overall as a human being. And I don't know much about this, so I'm definitely excited to learn about it.
And Bella, welcome to the program. We're so happy. You are our first guest, so I know you said you were a little bit nervous, but there's really nothing to be worried about. It's just like me and you when I meet you and
Awesome.
You work with me. So.
Well, hey, Marty. It's nice to be the first guest, so thank you. It's an honor. And it's also very nice to meet you, Ted.
It's nice to meet you as well.
So,
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. And
oh, absolutely. I love this.
Yeah, so over the last 23, 24 years, most of my time has been spent, dealing with health issues that people come into the store, anxiety or depression or lack of energy, immune system, joint health, high blood pressure. I mean, we see it all here.
Right.
But we don't talk a whole lot about mind, body, and spirit. And I know that you practice a lot of a lot of different modalities, I want to say. And can you tell me a little bit about what a spiritual consultant is and what you do for people?
Okay. So I've been a spiritual consultant since 20 years plus. And what I do is I help all different types of problems that people have when it comes to anxiety, stress, depression. I work as basically a life coach. So when people are in need of meditation, they seek out me. When I do my work, everyone is different. And the way that maybe you would have to help someone to detail what their needs are here in the shop with the supplement, I do the same, but with works of crystals, candles, oils, and we work together. So being a spiritual consultant for as long as I have been, I've also seen many different types of problems, cases, people. People come to me also when they need to be uplifted, if there's something emotional that they went through. So a lot of people who have went through a loss of someone who's passed away, or if they're feeling down about themselves, they would seek out me.
How did you first get into this?
That's a good question. I like that question.
I don't know, 20 years, it's,
Okay.
it's a long time. And
So I am a third generation holistic healer. My grandmother and my mother has done this all of their lives, and I was raised into doing this. So I feel that this was my calling. The universe works together with me. And this is something that I know that I was born to do.
So you, as a child or as a kid,
Absolutely.
and you were taught this from, I guess since the day you were born, pretty much, or this was a part of your family's everyday life?
Or do you feel like you're just gifted to do this?
So I'm a holistic healer. And being a holistic healer, we have this ability to pick up on other people's emotions, their energies, what they're feeling, what's going around them. And I've felt this way since I was a small child. And I was raised watching my mother and grandmother help people. And I've always felt connected to other people, wanting to help them, and feeling great about it. To me, it's absolutely second nature. It's just like breathing.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I think we all need it. I think we all know that the mental health issues that are happening in today's society and the need for evaluation and guidance. But I think that maybe, I don't know how you feel, and this is okay. We talk about a lot of different things here, but what I'm interested in is, and I know we're going off a little bit of a tangent here,
Okay.
but how do you feel about psychiatry and psychology as compared to what you do? Because I go to you. I'm not I want everybody to know I go to Bella for consultation and for meditation, and it has really, really helped me out with the life issues that I have. And we talk about life issues here at the store with all of our customers and what they're going through, but everybody needs some type of help. But how do you feel about the medical profession compared to what you do?
Okay, so mental therapy is what that would be called. And what I'm doing is I'm working on spiritual therapy, because there's some times where emotionally we will be hurt and somehow scarred or suppress something, and that spiritually we're unable to move forward. And that's where I come in, that we're good for not just the mind, not just the body, but also the spirit. So I go to the next level. It's an enhancement. And if anyone's listening who does go to therapy, I would never say don't. This is something that is an enhancement.
Yeah, that's great.
What about somebody, does it only help those that are spiritually aware? What about somebody that's not really certain of their spiritual
That's another very cool question.
If they want to be helped, they know they need this, enhancement, as you say, but they're not really sure about their spiritual direction.
So you have to have faith. There will always be skepticism. Always. But when you feel the difference, that all drifts away. I've doing this for 20 years. I've had people walk into my shop and no, this ain't for me, and I don't, this is not my thing. Sure. But after about 20 minutes of speaking to me, they feel the difference. Walking into my shop, there's a huge difference of release.
Yeah, it's actually just stepping into the room with all
peace.
with all the crystals and things of that nature, and just meeting you and you having an open ear for what we all need to
Thank you.
to talk about our issues. It's welcoming. It's very welcoming. You talk a lot about energy. I guess my question for you is what is everybody thinks of energy as, I need to be, quicker and faster and things of that nature. But what truly is, in your mind, energy, and how do you know when you are needed, your services are needed?
Okay. So energy is everything. There's energy in everything. There's energy in our water. There's energy in our air. We are surrounded by energy. And sometimes our chakras will not absorb that energy correctly. And that'll be due to grabbing on too much toxic energy. And the toxic energy will come from either past issues, past relationships. It can also come from items that hold toxic energy. What will happen is that energy will hold on to, and then release itself, and you can absolutely hold on to that energy.
Yeah, it's a little confusing.
Well,
I guess I do you understand that a little bit?
Yeah, I definitely get the energy part of it, and I was reading something earlier that said, to what you were saying, that everything has some sort of energy to it, and it said the energy that every circumstance, every person that you come in contact with, everything throughout your entire day is something that's operating on the same energy frequency that you are. Nothing is by chance. And it made a lot of sense when I read it, and it definitely intrigues thought and provokes thought.
So what I do is I create frequencies using singing bowls, crystals, and meditation. And what I do is I move that like a wave of energy.
Okay.
With sound energy, crystal energy, and through meditation.
So how do you know if you're moving the energy in the right direction or the wrong direction?
That's a good question. Okay, so
the professor. He's
good.
He's the professor.
Good.
So
well, I'm trying to learn it as well. I'm always open to new things, and
in holistic healing, there is no moving the energy in a wrong direction.
So as long as that energy is moving,
correct,
it's going into
our energy should always be moving, because if our energy is stagnant, then we are not moving.
Gotcha.
So we need to always have the energy moving. And being a holistic healer, well, it comes from the universe. So it's all about divine intervention. It can never be wrong, because the universe has a plan for you. And all we're doing is releasing the toxic energy from you, from your chakras, from your body, and from your mind, so that you can be the best version of you.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
That's wonderful. Because I truly do feel that. I feel like a lot of times I get stuck, and I'm not able to be the very best person I can be, and I don't have the grounding or the focus or the energy to really let my creativity flow.
Yep.
And that's really important to me, and that's why I continue to work with you. And you're a great person, and you've really helped me. And more people need to go see Bella. She's over in Media on Baltimore Pike, directly across the street from the brand new Wawa.
Should I say the address?
Sure.
It's 432 East Baltimore Ave, Media, PA.
Yep, basically right on the corner of Providence Road and Brookhaven. Providence Road
and
Baltimore Pike.
Does it say psychic readings out front?
So there is readings that do happen there, but
Gotcha.
We are spiritual consulting.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's.
I just happened to notice it the other day when I was at the
that's so cool.
I had no idea.
That's very cool.
It was that place.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's a great location, and it's a great place.
So the signs are working, whatever.
Yeah,
I noticed it.
That's cool.
Location.
Yeah.
That's what they say. But, we'll move on to the next question that I have. You're having an event soon, which I know you're really excited about.
Yeah, really excited.
Yeah, and I'd like you to tell us a little bit about the event and what you get out of the event and how you started these events.
Okay, so the events. This is my 5th event, and I'm really proud of it because it's a lot of hard work. I started doing this event, because about 15 years ago, I was doing these events all the time. I was going to Mind, Body, and Spirit expos and fests and all these other things and meeting all these wonderful people. And one day I looked around and I said, I can do this. I can absolutely do this. And this is my dream. And I want this. I want to bring people together and to bring awareness to mind, body, and spirit in all different ways, in all different mediums, to bring people together and to know that there's another way. That if there's something that either they're feeling, even if they have a gift themselves, but they don't know how to use it. So this would be a way to find out. And so doing these events, I meet all sorts of wonderful people. And I, too, have learned so much from these events, like meeting hypnotists and nutritionists and all different types of people. So I began this 5 years ago, and it started off small with 10 vendors, and now I'm up to 30 vendors every year. So I tripled it.
Wow.
And I'm really
awesome.
proud.
Yeah, that's great.
That's awesome.
And I'm hoping that in the next 3 years that we have 100 vendors.
Is that all local vendors?
Yes, tri-state
Really?
area local.
And where is it going to be?
So it's the Heritage Ballroom. The name of the event is Gathering of the Goddesses. And it's a way for women to get together and to speak. We're going to have some speakers there that day. There's actually a medium that's going to be there doing mediumship readings, which is really awesome. And the event is the Heritage Ballrooms is the venue, which is 2107 MacDade Blvd in Holmes.
Wow, that's awesome. And we plan on being there.
Which is great. I love that Burman's shop is going to be there.
Thank you. And we're excited to do that. Most likely either Ted or one of our associates will be over there, but I'm going to try to do my best to get there as well because we're all in it together. I mean, we're all healing people in a different way. So that's what we do. And Ted's with our customers every day.
So it's the holistic world. And we do all need to know each other.
Sure, and we only know what we know. So, to open us up to new modalities is, I think it's definitely something to be, it would be great to be a part of. I think that's really cool.
And every year it gets better and better.
Yeah, like we do the essential oils, and I can tell you which ones, smell good, but I can't tell you which ones really do, much of the healing process. I'm more of the, the nutrients and nutraceuticals and... So, that would be great to even expand my knowledge base on that stuff a little bit.
And I can tell you what essential oil smells hideously.
Right.
Because there are a few that are
sure.
that are sickening to the senses. Well, just a few. I got to put my little
right.
my little laughter in here, ladies and gentlemen, because
No,
life
you're absolutely
life
right,
cannot be taken that seriously. Life cannot be taken that seriously. Please.
Wow, you're doing a great job with him. Keep it up, man. His energy seems great.
It's always better when I go see Bella. Always. I haven't seen you in about a week, so we got to get together.
We do need to get together.
I really want to do more meditation. I'd like to do maybe even more yoga, but I think meditation is really the saving grace for a lot of people because our brains are just so
Absolutely.
like they're not static. They're just like everything's going nutso in our brain with today's society and social media. I mean, what do you think about all this stuff? We're just going nutso.
Okay, so I agree with that very much.
Yeah, is healing different? Not to go off, but is healing different now than it was 20 years ago?
I would have to say yes.
Yeah.
I would have to definitely say yes. Nowadays, social media has created static in the mind. And what I like to do is I like to ask my clients to sometimes just take off their phone. Give themselves an hour of meditation to whether hold their crystal or light a candle. It's really, though, what's awesome is meditation is really what's comfortable to you. I know some people who like to take walks, and then they feel really good. Mm-hmm. I know some people who do yoga, and that's their way of meditating. Me personally, I like taking everything off. I like to...
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I knew he was going to make that joke.
What?
I swear, I felt it.
Wait a minute. Can you explain?
I sensed that joke.
Yeah, I mean, like, that. It's what I think, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, no.
No.
All right.
I like to
Go ahead,
take off.
get comfortable.
See,
Go ahead.
See, there we go.
No.
All right.
No.
I'm sorry. But
No, fully
okay.
clothed.
Gotcha. Tell me what you mean by that.
So, I have no phone.
Gotcha.
Some people like music. No music. No electricity. It's just me in the dark, and I let the universe speak to me.
That's amazing. I was just talking to a customer about this today. He came in and was extremely stressed out, and we got to talking, and we were saying how now, we go to work, you go home, you have the television, you have your phone's constantly going off, you're checking your social media sources, you're paying bills from your cell phones, nothing stops. And we were talking about how, years and years ago, whether you were a farmer or whatever, you went to work, maybe from sunup to sundown, and then that was it. You were done for the day. You got time to unwind. There was no going in and watching TV.
Oh, yeah.
You might have sat next to a candle, maybe read a little bit or something, but it was nothing like it is now. And our minds don't stop. And we were talking about how that can be a great cause of stress now. Like, even if it's things we think are positive, in reality, I think they're doing more damage than they're helping us.
Chaotic organization. We think that our cell phones are helping us, but it's not.
Yeah, I would agree.
So it is best to step away from all technology and give yourself time, whether it's 10 minutes or an hour, which could be, a lot for some people. But it's a way of removing yourself from this world and balancing you.
What about kids, Bella? I mean, I'm really worried about our children.
I agree with that.
My niece Erica, she's, I don't know, in her late 20s now. Erica?
I'm 31.
Okay, Erica's 31. She's still a baby to me. She's still my little niece. But
Right.
I think about, she's kind of in the middle. I'm 50, she's 30, and then I have a son, 22, and then I see my son Sammy, who's 12, and Leo, 17, and they're different. I mean, they're on this stuff constantly
24/7.
with Instagram and all kinds of things
it's
that are
bad now.
It's just I just think it's so mentally debilitating. I really do. I truly believe that. Like, what's the solution for kids today? I mean, how do you get them to buy into what you're doing?
Okay, so I actually have a few clients that are children. And so the good thing about our children is that they do feel balanced. But if there's a child who's going through something, that's the child who needs to step away. So that child needs meditation more than the average. I've been working with a young boy, about 9 years old, since 6 months. And he gravitates towards my crystals. And the reason why he gravitates towards my crystals, and maybe you might know a thing or two about this, when someone's lacking a vitamin or a mineral, they're craving it. So this child is craving the meditation, craving these crystals, the energy that comes off of them.
Now talk a little bit more about these crystals. I'm very, this is also new to us, and it's just fascinating. It's just fascinating. But tell me a little bit more about these crystals. Like, how do you know which crystal to use for the problems? Like, say somebody's really anxious, or even somebody that has an addictive personality. Like, how do you decide which crystal?
Are there crystals for each of these ailments or
Absolutely,
issues? Really?
there is.
Excelente. I love that. Excelente.
Excelente.
I'm gonna have to get some Christmas gifts for some family members.
There you go.
Not telling what
Me
they
too.
are.
And I'm always receptive to a Christmas gift too, Ted.
I know which one I'll get you.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, you will. You know the twin in me, Gemini.
So yes, there's crystals for absolutely everything, but you do not choose the crystal. The crystal chooses you.
Okay.
Sounds like a Star Wars.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. If you are shopping for a crystal and you are out there, the crystal will choose you. But if I had to recommend anything, something for beginners, there are 3 crystals that are used because it's a very light energy, it's a calming energy, and it's easy to absorb, which would be clear quartz, amethyst, and rose quartz. So those 3 crystals, separate or together, work very well. Now, to meditate, again, you can do this in any way, but these crystals come from the earth. We also come from the earth. We're just putting back what we're missing. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And that's what's amazing about this.
Are you familiar with, I think me and Erica were just talking about this the other day. I was trying to explain it the best I could. Are you familiar with tissue salts or cell salts? It's homeopathic medicines. Anyway, there's 12 cell salts or tissue salts.
Okay.
And believers of this form of healing, there's they kind of put it that there's 12 months in a year. Mm-hmm. There's 12 base cell salts, and that every person is missing 1 or 2 of these salts, or 2 or 3 of them, depending on what month you were born, because you're only in the womb for 9 or 10 months. So, it's intriguing and it's interesting in the way that, I was looking at what salts I'm supposed to be missing as a Gemini, and it said the one that I'm missing is Kali phosphoricum.
Okay.
And it says, it gives you a list of ailments that you may be prone to. Mm-hmm. And I got to say, it was pretty dead on. Mm-hmm. And, I went into this with just looking at it on YouTube, and I was reading a little bit about it, and it was at very least interesting in the fact that it said that you can, somebody that's, prone to headaches, or some people suffer from joint pain, but it kind of sounds like around the same way you're talking with the crystals. they say that you need to put back in these missing ingredients, so to speak, whether it's, into your body.
Missing ingredients, yep.
So,
I work a lot with the chakras, which helps pinpoint the energy. And by doing that, we open up the 7 main chakras, which start from the top of your head down your core. And when I open up each chakra, I place energy working with the holistic healing and removing what should not be there and placing back with the energy of the crystal.
Yeah, it's amazing because there's really no one way at looking at things. I mean, as a kid, I was, I grew up in a pharmacy. My dad was a pharmacist. And if somebody came in, they had a prescription, and the doctor gave them a prescription, and my dad gave them the drug, and they took it, and that was it. And a lot of times, most of the times, it helped. Sometimes it didn't. But there's different medications for different ailments. There's multiple medications for the same thing. I just think that, just sitting here and hearing all of this, it's just an amazing bath salts and crystals. I mean, you were raised this way.
Yes.
And you believe it, and you live it.
I live it.
Yeah,
it's my whole life.
And it's healing. And it's just so inspiring that you're doing this for people, and you're educating them, and that there's a good chance that they can get better here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with how much information we have now with the internet and all of this information at our fingertips, it's amazing how much more. I think we're much more closed-minded now.
Yeah.
even though we have more access to more information. And this is why I have my events, because we bring that awareness, that education. And just as Marty was saying earlier about yoga, so we have a professional yoga instructor. And just as you were saying, Ted, about not knowing about essential oils, at the event, we have someone who knows everything there is to know about these oils.
Yeah, essential oils are huge now, and definitely documented, like lavender, peppermint, bergamot. There's so many different oils out there for different things. But it's exciting. It's very exciting. I mean, we're really happy and excited to be a part of this, and we want to work more with people like you, Bella. People that
Awesome.
are people that are healers, because we can truly make a difference. We're part of that wheel.
Yep.
We're part of that continuum, and we always have been here at Burman's, and we continue to want to do that. My wife Anne Marie is Reiki, learning to be a Reiki master.
A Reiki master, yes.
And she's also an RN.
And she's a good friend of mine.
Yes, absolutely.
I love Anne Marie.
Is going holistically.
Yep.
It's not really holistic. It's sort of like complementary medicine.
Well, I think they're starting to implement that now in all the healthcare systems, we have people that come in from, I think even in over in Europe, I believe they're starting to actually use the essential oils in the hospitals because they kill airborne allergens and bacteria. And when you're in a hospital, obviously we don't want to get anyone else sick.
Sure.
These are things that have been used for thousands of years.
Yeah, the U.S. is behind in some of this stuff.
Eastern medicine, yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you've talked a lot about things. Now there's these chakras, which that doesn't make any sense to me. I mean,
Right.
I mean, really, I haven't done my study on it, obviously,
Okay.
but very confused about chakras. So if you want to talk a little bit about that, And why don't we start off with chakras? I have a couple more questions, and then we're gonna wrap it up. But this has been great. Let's keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, no. In all reality, this has really sparked my interest.
Oh yeah,
Great.
I mean,
I love hearing that.
Yeah, we all need this. There's no question in my mind. We all need this.
So the chakra is our core, and there's these 7 energy points. And, we have our crown chakra, which is purple, and then we have our third eye, which is an indigo, which is dark blue. And have you ever heard anyone say the term, I have a third eye?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, last time I took acid, I thought I had a third eye.
So there was that.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Okay.
I think I had a fourth eye, actually.
but no, in all reality, these hallucinogenics, they're very big right now because they say they're opening people up to to things they wouldn't be open to, and this, not that it's the same thing, but I don't know if you've ever heard of the ayahuasca teas and these.
Actually, I stay very far away from all of that. I'm actually, I like to be very clear and open, so I don't drink or do any type of drugs.
Yeah, no, that's great.
I gotta stop. No, I'm just joking. No. Guys, nothing. No, don't do it.
Yeah, right.
Don't do it. I don't do it. My biggest thing is food. I love food. I eat too much. I eat too much. It's an issue.
Right.
A lot of people have the same thing, but no drugs, no alcohol, just lots of good, delicious foods of every single kind.
Yeah, for the record, I don't drink or do drugs.
There we go.
Yeah,
I have.
So it's all, yeah.
I definitely have.
Yeah, we've all done our stuff. But, so these chakras, just talk about another chakra that maybe a beginner would be interested in.
Okay, so the third eye is where we get our intuition from. A mother's intuition will know that our kid is doing something bad, and we feel it. So some people will call it even our conscience. Oh, my conscience told me I shouldn't be doing this. Some people will say spirit guide told me to go left instead of right.
Kind of like a gut feeling.
A gut feeling. So a lot of people will have a different way to explain it. But it all comes from the third eye. No matter what you call it, that's where that's coming from.
Yeah, and there's. Do you ever do any classes or anything like that? Or is it really just one-on-one? Did you ever think about maybe coming into Burman's at some point and maybe talking
I would love
to people?
to.
Okay.
I would absolutely love to. I did do classes a few years ago, and I was also doing Tai Chi for a while, which was really awesome. Mm-hmm. And, I stepped away from that because I'm doing now a lot of one-on-one. But I would absolutely come here to Burman's.
Is your mother and your grandmother, are they still around?
My grandmother is not. She had passed away about 15 years ago. Yeah, but my mother is still around.
And is she still practicing?
She actually has not been doing as much since the past 4 or 5 years. But when I need my mom, I call her.
Or she should call you with her third eye. The reason I ask is I was just curious as to, you said you've been doing this for 20 years, and obviously your mother and your grandmother were doing it a lot longer. Did they have businesses, like an establishment like you have, or was it more of a word of mouth?
So back then,
friends and family type thing?
It was word of mouth. Back then, they wouldn't do a podcast. Never.
Sure.
Never. This is something personal. Mm-hmm. This is not something you talk about.
Yeah.
So it was a word of mouth, situation. And so as, the world evolved, so did we.
Sure.
Yeah. Bella, just a few more questions. What do you recommend people to do at home to become more balanced in their life?
So I love burning sage. Burning sage is a great thing. It releases, the sage has been used for hundreds of years by Native Americans. And the sage burning, well, first of all, when you burn sage, you always want to move clockwise. Never go counterclockwise. Because we're moving the energy clockwise. And when you burn your energy, your sage, you should always keep your windows open because whatever you're smoking out, you want it to run out.
Is this like incense, or we have essential oils, or is this actual sage?
This is actual sage.
Okay.
It's a sage bundle.
Okay.
That you can burn.
Where do you get those? Do you just order online? Maybe we can start carrying them.
Maybe
here
you
at
can
Burman's.
start carrying
We've
them.
been asked multiple times if we have
If there's sage bundles.
Okay.
But
People use
if
them
you're
for ghosts, I believe.
Ghosts?
some people will say that, but it's really good to move energy. And
Which
you
is probably explains a ghost more so than anything.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
you can absolutely use sage, the oil.
Okay.
So that is also very well used. You know, in an infuser would be great.
Okay.
And it helps to balance yourself.
That's great.
Yep.
And that's something very easy. And it's something we will look into, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to look into maybe getting some of that sage. So, I think we can all benefit. Last question that I have, and then Ted's going to finish up with his last question. You mentioned cutting spiritual cords.
Yep.
Can you tell me what that means? Cutting spiritual cords.
Okay. So, cutting spiritual cords, anything that's holding you back, cutting that cord feels amazing. If you're too shy to do something, you face that fear and you cut that cord.
I know somebody that just did that.
Yep.
And has done a great job today.
Thank you.
Yep.
If there is something that you feel that's holding you, well, that's the cord. That's that cord that's just holding you so tightly from moving to being successful in any situation, whether it's prosperity. If that's what you want, yes. Happiness, yes. A good job, yes. But you know what? There's a lot of people who are just looking for peace. And cutting that cord feels great. And so what I do is I find out, what is that cord? Where is it coming from? And why the heck is it there? And then we release it.
Amen.
Yeah.
I say amen.
It's all about
Amen.
balance at
There
the
we
end
go.
of the day, It's all about finding that balance in life.
Yeah, and we're born imperfect. Nothing is going to be perfect in life, but if we can have a stronger emotional balance in our life, I think we achieve peace, and peace is happiness, and happiness is contagious.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Yes.
And I think that we all need to work on that. Because the Burmans are a very negative human being at times, especially the male Burmans.
I love your whole family. I think they're great.
I know, we just at times, but we get it together. I think we're good people deep down, and
You are.
But I don't know if this is going to be broadcasted. But this has been awesome. The last question I have for you is something that we really didn't discuss. I know that you're going to be doing some energy work in our store and on our store.
Yep.
And I just wanted to get your feelings on the space that we have here and what you're picking up as far as Burman's Health Shop. I know there's always things to improve on, but how do you feel about our energy here?
I walked in and fell in love.
Awesome.
It felt amazing. There's a lot of love in this space. And I see nothing but great things for your shop. I love it. there's a good energy here.
Thanks, Bella.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
I mean, that means a lot to me.
I had a guy that came in earlier and would not leave. He just kept hugging me.
Ah.
There you
So
go.
there was a lot of love in here today. So
I felt it.
yeah, you picked up on it.
Just
His
curious.
wife was going through some stuff, and we got her some oils and some CBD oils, and I felt bad for the guy, but he he felt a little bit calmer after he left, and but
That's what this is all about.
yeah.
Yep, and every day we're making a difference with our ingredients here and nutrients and dietary supplements, and now we have a holistic healer that I consider part of our family.
Thank you. That's such an honor.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to introduce us to more people, especially at your 5th annual expo in Holmes, Pennsylvania. Again, Bella is going to put on a phenomenal show. Expo show, it's the same thing, and people are going to be not only entertained, but they're also going to have a new focus in life, because they're going to find out that there's more to it.
That's right.
There's more to this experience, and you may not be able to see it or smell it or hear it, but it's there. It's definitely there. And this is going to be the 5th annual expo in Holmes, Pennsylvania, the Heritage Ballroom, April 14th from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. It is free. Is that correct? Or is there
It's free entry. Absolutely. All is welcome.
Okay, that's great. And you can reach Bella, if it's okay to give your phone number out. Okay, her number is 484-550-1661. You can reach Bella for details. Again, that's 484-550-1661. Bella, me and Ted really appreciate you coming.
Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. I love this.
This is really cool. I think I'm definitely going to do a little bit more research on this now.
Yeah, we're going to get this going. We're going to get the energy.
I think I found a new client.
That's possible. Yeah, I think so. I think so too. We all need it, even the professor.
Yeah, look, energy is everywhere. So
yeah, my son had unfortunately got hit by a baseball. And had a concussion. The kid throwing 90 miles an hour at Catholic University. And he's going to be out a week, and I came to Ted for help because he mentioned a concussion protocol for dietary supplements, and he helped me out. So that's what we do. We do have each other's back here, and we certainly have your back, Bella, and we really appreciate it. Is there anything that you wanted to add before we sign off on Rising Core here at Burman's Health Shop?
No, I think that was great.
Okay, that's awesome. But, Ted, anything from the professor? Anything you want to say to the folks out there?
No, I think I'm good, and I'll see you guys when you come in.
Okay, as
Thanks.
always, thank you to the lovely Erica Burman. She is our
Thanks, Erica.
director here and supervisor, and she's done another fantastic job. This is, again, our 2nd podcast, and I had a really good time. All of a sudden, Rising Core is making more sense. The name Rising Core is making more sense because my core is rising.
There we go.
I am alive.
What?
I am alive and I am well. All right. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it. Peace out. We'll see you on Rising Core in a couple of weeks. Take care.
Bye-bye.
The content on Higher Ground is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical mental health advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or another qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical mental health condition.